Arguably the biggest star in mixed martial arts right now, especially if we want to say active star, Sean O'Malley. The Sugar Show is back in action to defend his bantamweight championship for the very first time, but it comes against Marlon Cheeto Vera, the only man that has beaten Sugar Sean O'Malley in his professional MMA career. Will he get revenge and make good on his first title defense? Or will Cheeto steal the show once more? One could say Sean O'Malley is the face of Dana White's Contender Series, and that is because he earned a contract on Season 1, Episode 2, all the way back in 2017. We even had Uriah Faber and Snoop Dogg on commentary for that fight.
Three-piece dinner with biscuits. Oh, Mally!
He got a first-round knockout that night, and ever since, his stardom has grown fight by fight by fight. He started out in his UFC career 4-0 and 12-0 overall in his career, but that perfect record went to the wayside when he fought Marlon Cheeto Vera in August of 2020 at UFC 252. Now, I just went back and watched this fight before jumping in the studio today because all I've heard all week in the build up to this fight is how the fight didn't play out fairly and how there was an injury and we didn't get to see both guys to their full 100% go. And so I just couldn't remember if, I remember obviously Sean O'Malley's ankle, right ankle, was severely hindered in this fight. It was honestly something similar to that of which we saw in his Andre Sukumtoth victory that he had 2 fights prior to this Vera first time matchup. But I just couldn't remember in the sense of, did Marlon Cheeto Vera land damaging calf kicks, leg kicks to that leg of Sean O'Malley to cause this injury? And that is the main reason I wanted to go back and watch this fight. Obviously, because it only lasted 4 minutes and 40 seconds, there's only so much we can take away truly from what we got to see one on one in the cage. And so as I went back, it was Sean O'Malley who was landing the calf kicks, the leg kicks with his right leg. And so I lean to seeing that this injury was caused not by necessarily Marlon Cheeto Vera offensively, but defensively by checking kicks and just from Sean O'Malley having something go wrong in those kicks that he was throwing. That led to him rolling the ankle numerous times throughout that first round. He fell down around the 4 minute and 20-second mark of the first round. Marlon Cheeto Vera pounces on top and he lands a devastating left hand, followed up by, I believe, 3 to 5 brutal elbows with his left arm before referee Herb Dean jumped in and stopped the fight. Now, I will say, while they were unanswered strikes on the side of Sean O'Malley, the stoppage was rather quick. If you go back and watch it, it is within 10 seconds from the time the first punch lands to the time Herb Dean steps in, and it was over. And again, yes, they were unanswered. They were clean shots, but Sean was never out of it. He had his arms at least in a defensive position to at least try to continue blocking a couple more. So I believe that you add in those strikes with the injury that was apparent on the side of Sean O'Malley. That is what led Herb Dean to jump in quicker than maybe what he would usually. And that victory is what really catapulted Marlon Cheeto Vera into the biggest stardom, if you will, that he's ever had, because he's been in the UFC since November of 2014. Following that fight with O'Malley, he would face Jose Aldo, Marlon Vera, that is, in December of that very same year, 2020. He did lose a decision in that fight, but immediately jumped back on the horse and rallied off 4 straight victories, and 5 of his next 6 fights, as a matter of fact, were wins. He beat Davy Grant by decision. He brutally knocked out Frankie Edgar. He got a victory over Rob Font via decision, brutally knocked out Dominic Cruz, and then he did lose in March of 2023 to Corey Sandhagen in a main event slot where Corey looked unbelievable. Cheeto bounced back in August at UFC 292, which is a very meaningful card that we're going to talk about again in a second, where he did get a decision over Pedro Munoz. So he's won 5 of his last 6 fights. The resume there is very, very strong, stronger than the resume of the current champion and what he had to do to get the title fight, Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley bounced back from that fight in 2020 to Marlon Vera by getting 3 knockouts in 2021. Thomas Almeida, Chris Moutinho, and Raulian Paiva. He had an incredible year, one of the best years for any fighter in 2021, and he got back on track. But in July of 2022, he had a very, very close fight with Pedro Munoz up until it ended at the 3 minute and 9 second mark of the second round in a no contest due to an eye poke. Pedro Munoz was no longer able to see out of his eye. We got that fight scratched. And I'm going to be honest, Sean looked good, but so did Pedro Munoz. That was a very, very close fight for the 8 minutes that we got to see it. Unfortunately, they never ran that fight back, and instead, Sean O'Malley faced Petr Yan in October of 2022. They went tit for tat for 15 minutes in one of the best fights of the year, but Sean O'Malley came out on top against the former champion in a split decision, and that victory is what earned him the shot at the Bantamweight Championship at UFC 292 last August. And so in Boston, Massachusetts in the fall of 2023, that is when the paths of Marlon Vera and Sean O'Malley met once more. They both got victories on the very same night. Sean O'Malley knocked out Aljamain Sterling in the second round to become the undisputed 135-pound champion of the world. Marlon Vera got a victory over Pedro Munoz, making it 5 of his last 6 by victory against very game opponents, big name opponents. Sean O'Malley, mixed in with that resume of Marlon Vera, wanted revenge, wanted the biggest fight in the division, and that is what we get with the rematch this Saturday. And now listen, I understand the argument that people don't think Marlon Chito Vera is the most deserving of the bunch at 135 pounds. I think there are 2 names above him that are more deserving, if you will, of a title fight. One is Merab Dvalishvili, and 2 is Corey Sandhagen. But there are 2 caveats which resulted in us getting this fight instead. Really 3. The first one is Sean O'Malley wanted this fight. He picked this fight. There is a storyline with this fight, and that is that it is a rematch. The only loss of his entire career was to Marlon Chito Vera. Now, the other 2 is with those 2 contenders. Merab, first and foremost, did not want to interfere with his friend and training partner Aljamain Sterling, which resulted in him not getting a title fight during Aljo's reign. And then he thought Aljo would get a rematch against Sean O'Malley, which then resulted in him not wanting to pursue the fight with Sean O'Malley as much as maybe some would have wished he would have. Pair that in with a hand injury, bad recipe there. That leaves Merab out. He did just fight recently against Henry Cejudo, put on a fantastic performance. I believe that was his 10th or 11th straight victory. And a new update is that he is the backup fighter should O'Malley or Vera be unable to compete. And the other name, Corey Sandhagen. He lost 2 in a row at one point, TJ Dillashaw and Petr Yan, but since has tallied off 3 straight victories. He finished Song Yadong, he beat Marlon Chito Vera, and he beat Rob Font in August in Nashville. However, in that fight, Corey Sandhagen got injured, and I believe toward the end of the year, he had an interview saying he would not be ready until April or May, thus leaving him out of this potential fight happening March 9th. So put all of those ingredients in the pot, mix them together, and that is how we get here with the rematch, Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera 2. And listen, I think Chito Vera is still, if you want to look at a full body resume, his is up there with even the guys of Merab Dvalishvili and Corey Sandhagen. When you look at these past couple of years, add in the storylines, I'm okay with him getting this rematch, and I think it's going to lead to an incredible fight. Marlon Vera has never been finished. He has 8 losses. All of them are by decision. Sean O'Malley is known for his knockout power, but if he cannot knock out Marlon Chito Vera like he already hasn't been able to do one time prior, What does that mean? What will it mean when we get to rounds 3, 4, and 5? That is what I'm excited to find out. I think we're going to get a 25-minute or less striking affair between these two top ranked bantamweights in the world. Sean O'Malley at 29, Marlon Vera at 31, both guys in their prime. If we're ever going to get this rematch, now is the perfect time to do it while the rest of the division clears itself up. Marlon Vera has a chance again to steal the show, as I said at the top of this recording, and to really cement himself as one of the best 135 pounders in the world. Undoubtedly, there will be no more questions if he is deserving if he gets this victory here. And if Sean wins, he further cements himself as what I believe to be the biggest active star currently going in mixed martial arts. So give me your thoughts on this main event in the comments below, and give me your predictions. Will Sean O'Malley get revenge? Will Marlon Chito Vera go 2-0 against Sean O'Malley and become the new champion of the world? We're only a couple days away from finding out those answers. If you enjoyed my thoughts and opinions on the biggest storylines of this fight, be sure to drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss breakdowns such as these, where it's not all about the X's and O's, but I want to talk about why every fight is so important and what all has gone on to get to where we are. That is my favorite part about this fight game. So if you enjoy that, subscribe to the channel. I also give my recaps of every meaningful result every single weekend, and we talk about the biggest news and fight announcements in mixed martial arts. Albeit we've been in a bit of a lull. We had a lot of fight announcements early on in the year, and it's kind of died down as we have the full UFC 300 calendar and whatnot. But it'll pick back up surely. There's a guy out there named Conor McGregor that's making some headlines and trying to get a fight booked. And when he does, you can find my thoughts right here, the Below Average Joe's MMA show. Join the community and interact with myself and others at the BAJ MMA on social media, and follow on your favorite audio platform if you want a full-length audio podcast version on Spotify, Apple, and many, many more. Enjoy the fights this weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.